Welcome in, guys, to where I reviewed. Welcome into my NFL recap. Week 2. Well, 2 weeks already in the NFL, so a lot of things happen on week 2. This is around the time where the teams are going to get the shit together, see what's going on, and you kind of get yeah, you're kind of going to get a vision of who's going to make the playoffs, what teams can do what. So anyway, we go to the Thursday night game. Bills, who travel to the Bills who travel to the Dolphins on Thursday night on prime time. Josh Allen threw for a 13 out of 19. Oh, sorry, guys. Josh Allen threw for 13 out of 19 yards, 179 yards, one touchdown. Tua had 17 out of 25 throws, but he had a concussion midway through the game. Dolphins took a couple of turnovers in the game, but Tua did get a touchdown and 3 interceptions. Akam had 23 carries and 46 yards, and the Bills got the job done on the road, 31-10 on Thursday night. Then we had the Saints, who were on the road to the Cowboys. The Saints coming off last week. Last week they had an impressive win against the Panthers, a division game. The Cowboys coming off an impressive win against the Skid Marks last week on week 1. The Saints were on the road for this game. The Saints blew the Cowboys out of the water. Again, I was looking at the Saints this year, and I was thinking, yeah, this team's gonna just be the Saints are just gonna do whatever. They have Gardner Minshew, who again was a good addition. They needed a quarterback like a Gardner Minshew again. Are you gonna start Aidan O'Connell as your starting quarterback? I don't think so. Again, I just thought it was just gonna be a meteoric season in New Orleans, but again, Dennis Allen, he's looking pretty impressive. I guess he was one of the many head coaches. I was thinking Dennis Allen was one of the many head coaches I had this year to get fired in the first few weeks, but he's got a division win over the Panthers, and he's got a win over the Saints, 44-19. Derek Carr threw for 11 out of 16, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Again, giving Dak Prescott this big deal. Was it a great option? I mean, I don't know. I don't understand the Cowboys hitching their wagon to Mike McCarthy, who has to be fired this season, and Dak Prescott. If you're giving Prescott a shit ton of money, he's a good quarterback, but he's not going to win you a championship. And then you've got Mike McCarthy, who goes, sorry, that's just Mike McCarthy choking every time he goes to the playoffs. But yeah, good win for the Saints. Then we have the New York Giants versus the Commanders. Danny Dimes versus Jaden Daniels. Again, I said this before. Why are the Giants hitching the wagon to an old regime? I like Brian Daboll as a head coach, but he's going to die on this sword of having Danny Dimes as the quarterback. No thanks. The Commanders win 18-21. Jaden Daniels didn't have much of a game. He didn't really show much in this game either. Singletary had 18 carries and 958 yards and a touchdown, and that was really it for the game. It was two late field goals in the Commanders, and that was it. A late field goal got the Commanders to win. Then we go for Jim Harbaugh's Chargers at the Panthers. 26-3. It was an easy day at the office for the Chargers. Justin Herbert threw for 14 out of 20 yards, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Bryce Young again. Again, I always say do not draft the first quarterback that comes to mind. Just because a quarterback was drafted number 1 and was hyped up great at college doesn't mean he's going to adapt to the NFL. You're looking at that draft class last year, 2023, and you're thinking, yeah, probably the Panthers maybe should have traded to 2 and got. They should have gone. When they had that first round pick, they should have gone for C.J. Strauss. Going for somebody who is 5'11", not very good in the pocket, not very good awareness on the field. Go for C.J. Strauss. He's a well-rounded, he got a good arm. You could have gone for him, but again, it's typical Panthers. And Bryce Young's game benched the next game. But yeah, 26-3 for the Chargers. Then the Jets. The Jets were on the road to the Titans. Obviously, Titans are 0-1. The Titans were 0-1 going into this game. The Jets were 0-1. Both teams looking for the first win of the season. The Jets win 24-17. Tony Pollard had 17 carries and 82 yards. and the Giants get the job. The Jets get the job done, 24-17. Then we had the 49ers versus the Vikings, 17-23. The Vikings get the job done at home, the first home win of the season. Brock Purdy versus Sam Darnold. Yeah. Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold as your starting quarterbacks. Yeah, good luck with that, guys. But anyway, the Vikings got the job done, 17-23. Then you have, then we have the Seahawks versus the Patriots. The battle of the new head coach is Mike McDonald versus Jared Mayo. Jared Mayo last week got his first win as the Jared Mayo got both Mayo and Mike McDonald both got their first wins as head coaches last week. This week, he went into overtime, and the Seahawks got the win with a field goal, 23-20 in overtime, and Seahawks are 2-0 now. Then we have the skid marks, the Browns versus the Jags. Browns were on the road for this one, 18-13. It was a whatever game. The Browns get the job done. Then we have the Raiders versus the Raiders and the Ravens. Again, I don't know what's going on. Is it a hangover from that championship game from last season with the Ravens? Like, I don't understand what the Ravens are going. I understand you're going to get last week. You was against the reigning defending Super Bowl champion, the Chiefs, but you couldn't even beat the Raiders. I know it was a 3-point game, but come on, like this Raiders team stinks. It was 26-23, and the Raiders get the job done. Bengals versus Chiefs. Again, these teams have faced off, had some great matches over the years in the division games, championship games, and stuff like that. Again, Bengals, every year the Bengals have that slow start, but again, this was a really good game. I really enjoyed this. 25-26, the Chiefs just get the win. It was a really tight game. Again, I love the matchups between Burrow and Mahomes. Mahomes had 27 of 36 carries, 258 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Mahomes Burrow had 27 of 36 carries, 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Mahomes had 18 out of 25 carries, 2 touchdowns. But it was a really good game. I really like when the Chiefs and the Bengals face each other. You really get it. This really should have been on prime time. This should have been on prime time on Sunday night. I would have had this over the fucking Bears game. Then we had the Rams versus the Cardinals. The Cardinals destroyed the Rams at home, 41-10. Good win for the Cardinals on Sunday afternoon. Then the Steelers versus the Broncos. This was one of those games where you're like, this is a typical kind of game where you have Mike Tomlin who fucks up this team, but again, he won 13-6. He got the job done against Denver. Then we have the primetime Bears football, and it's the Bears versus the Texans. Both teams, the Texans are a really good playoff contending team this year. I think they're going to go really far this year. But this Bears team, fucking Matt Eberflus, and fucking you got Shane Waldron as your offensive coordinator playing they're playing defensive football in 2024. How is Caleb Williams going to develop when you're running with the ball and you're not helping your quarterback? The offensive line stinks. Like, it's just the worst. But anyway, the Texans win 13 out of the Texans get the job done at home, 19-13. Caleb Williams had 27 out of 37 throws, 174 yards, and 2 interceptions. Also, we had the Colts beat the Packers beat the Colts 10-16. Malik Willis had his first start in 2 years, and the Lions, I covered that a couple of days ago. The Lions lost to the Buccaneers 20-16. Then we have last night's game, the primetime game. Falcons on the road to the Eagles. Eagles coming off a big win in Brazil last week. Falcons looking for the first win of the season, and it was a late field goal for the Falcons to get the job done, and 22-21, and the Falcons get the job done again. Saquon Barkley actually didn't fumble that last pass. He could have got first down and got a touchdown, won the game. But The Falcons got the field goal, won the game, and that is my NFL review recap for week 2.